The first time you hear it, you tell yourself it's just background sound, an ordinary audio layer hidden under soft piano keys, a faint child's sob spliced in by some editor to make the scene more emotional. But then you watch the next upload, and the moment the music swells you feel the same sound bleeding through again. The same pitch. The same ragged, terrified breathing. A sound that doesn't feel performed, it feels taken. The image stutters for a fraction of a second as if your connection has faltered, though the signal is perfect. A soldier steps into frame, uniform soaked with rain, carrying a small child whose forehead shines with fever sweat. For half a second, in the corner of the frame, a street sign flashes past, one you've seen before. You pause the video, drag the timeline back, crawl frame by frame. Your heartbeat climbs as you realize you've seen that same crooked fence in another story, months apart, a different night, a different child who was never named. On a buried thread in r/unresolved mysteries, an anonymous user whispers that every metadata scrape from this channel leads back to the same 3 towns. Towns with more missing children than official reports will ever admit. You press play again, unable to stop. The narrator's voice wavers, not like a performance, but like someone reading words that were never meant to be read aloud. Dates, exact times, a lullaby sung off-key through a cracked door, each detail seeps in like cold water through a floorboard. The comments section should be harmless, but it isn't. A handful of users appear within minutes of upload, leaving timestamps and strange half-sentences. 3:42, listen to the name. She's in video number 199 too. Their avatars are faceless, their profiles empty, and yet they speak like insiders leaving coded signals for each other. You catch yourself scrolling back, reading them over and over. Are these ordinary viewers? Or are you watching someone else's conversation play out in the open, unnoticed by the rest of the world? The piano softens, then fades altogether. For a breathless moment there is only static, as if the feed itself has switched. Then the crying starts again, clearer now, closer, as if the sound isn't coming from the speakers but from somewhere deeper, somewhere behind you. The air in your room feels heavy, motionless. It's 2:17 a.m. and the glow of the screen burns your tired eyes as you lean closer, caught between fear and something darker, the pull of recognition. The story doesn't feel like fiction anymore. It feels like a memory you didn't know you had, whispering itself awake, calling you by name from a place you were never meant to see. Ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT said, "You watch her move through the frame like a ghost that refuses to leave, her fox-eared hoodie damp from falling snow, her hands clasped as if begging someone just outside the camera's reach." Days later you see her again, but this time she is kneeling beside a gravestone, the same hoodie, the same shiver in her voice. Her name is different now, the captions insist she is someone else, but the way she tilts her head toward the lens feels exactly the same. At 3:11 you pause the footage because for a single heartbeat her eyes seem to focus beyond the screen, past the cold distance of time and pixels, right into you. You hit play and she is gone, blurred, shifted, as if she was never there at all. Old internet archives hold still frames that no longer exist on the channel itself. Thumbnails from early uploads where her face is clear, skin pale, lips chapped from winter. Weeks later those same thumbnails were replaced with composites, faces smudged and untraceable, the official descriptions quietly edited with no announcement. On a conspiracy thread, someone posts a side-by-side comparison. That same pale face matches a real Amber Alert photo from 2019, one that was later pulled from every public database without explanation. No one can say why. No one answers the private messages asking for proof. In story after story, you start to notice patterns that should not exist. A crooked mailbox appears in the background of 2 unrelated videos. A street name whispered through static matches the location of a real police search. A scar across a little boy's hand mirrors the injury listed in a missing persons bulletin. Yet none of this is ever acknowledged. The narrators speak as if these places and these children were imagined. But how do you imagine the exact chipped paint on a school fence that still stands today, miles from where you live? Former contractors, voices hidden behind encrypted calls, have hinted at asset pools, secret archives of footage handed between content mills like contraband. Clips with no origin, no paperwork, no consent. You think of that fox-eared hoodie again and feel a twist in your stomach, wondering how many times that image has been passed around in the dark. And then there are the dreams. Messages from viewers who binge through the night and wake with fragments still burning in their minds. They dream of wandering bus stops, of gravestones lit by flickering streetlights, of little hands reaching out of blurred faces. You tell yourself they are just dreams, yet when you close your eyes you see her standing in the snow, her gaze steady and searching, as if waiting for you to remember where you've seen her before. ChatGPT said, "The words arrive softly at first, as if whispered through a courtroom door left ajar. You don't notice the shape of them until the sentence repeats, until the cadence aligns too perfectly with something you've read before in a place you were never meant to look." An old court document, brittle and stamped with seals of confidentiality, contains those exact phrases, every breath between them, every jagged pause. The narrator's voice trembles as he reaches the line, and it no longer sounds like a story. It sounds like someone bleeding in real time, their words lifted from a transcript that should have stayed buried. FOIA files slip through the cracks, juvenile case summaries with sections blacked out, but the surviving words match entire monologues from the videos. Lawyers contacted for comment go silent after one email, as though even acknowledging the coincidence might tear something open. On obscure forums, someone posts that these are not coincidences at all, that sealed hearings are being siphoned off, converted into scripts before the ink on the judge's signature is dry. You remember Barely Sociable's long, jagged breakdown of empathy farms, channels that harvest real pain and dress it as fiction. His video cut off mid-sentence one night, then vanished entirely without explanation. No re-uploads. No archive. Only a ripple of speculation, threads that lead nowhere, questions that no one dares push further. Digging deeper, you find timestamps from touching moments that align with court schedules in different states, episodes released within hours of closed hearings. It feels impossible, but the pattern is too tight, too consistent. Someone is either sitting in those rooms or reaching through walls no one can see. A redacted memo surfaces on a leak site, only fragments readable, whispers of foster care data, repurposed for narrative assets. It doesn't say whose hands held the files, or how many eyes have watched without knowing. You scroll through the comments under these videos, expecting comfort, but find confessions instead. Strangers writing that they can't stop watching even though it feels like a crime, that they feel complicit, that they feel sick but hungry for the next upload. You read those words and feel the echo in your own chest, a slow tightening, as you realize you are watching someone's private hell turned into a bedtime story, and the worst part is, you cannot look away. You scroll down expecting the usual, hearts, prayers, fragments of empathy, but instead the first comment stops you cold. 342, listen to the name, it says, nothing else. A second one arrives almost immediately, posted seconds after the upload went live. She's in video number 199 too. There are no emojis, no warmth, just bare coordinates and hints, like whispers passed in a dark hallway. Your chest tightens as you realize these aren't reactions at all. They feel like instructions, like someone trying to guide unseen hands towards something hidden in plain sight. The pattern only deepens when you dig further. Data scraping from the comment sections reveals the same usernames surfacing again and again, first on one video, then another, always with timestamps and strange clipped words. One name in particular appears across 40 uploads, never responding to others, never posting anywhere else. Investigators on conspiracy forums trace that handle back through caches and archived boards until it collides with an old list of volunteers from a vanished cold case forum. The threads go silent after that, posts deleted or locked as if someone pulled the plug mid-search. Late at night you watch as comments appear and then vanish hours later, edited into blank spaces or replaced by single dots. Screenshots taken by insomniacs capture fragments, partial addresses, numbers that look like case files, initials scrawled between hearts. No one admits to leaving them. No one explains what they mean. On Twitter, private researchers spin theories in long, haunted threads. Some believe these are breadcrumb trails meant for a specific watcher, a coded conversation threading through every upload, invisible unless you already know the cipher. Others claim they are warnings, messages from people trapped inside the very stories being told. You read on, feeling the hair on your arms rise as you scroll through screenshots of usernames that don't exist anymore. And then the thought you've been avoiding crawls to the surface. Maybe these videos were never meant for you, never meant for the sleepless millions searching for comfort in someone else's tragedy. Maybe you've stumbled into a transmission you were never meant to intercept, a message board draped in the costume of a bedtime story, where every timestamp is a knock on a door that should never be opened. It waits at the far edge of every frame, a silhouette more than a setting, a crooked fence half hidden by weeds, a porch light that flickers like a dying heartbeat. You notice it first in passing. One video shows a soldier stepping up those splintered steps, another shows a trembling child whispering through tears, "He's under the floor." Different stories, different nights, yet the angles align, the chipped step in the corner remains the same. You rewind, compare, slow the footage until the pixels blur, and the realization hits like cold water. They all lead here. Frames stitched from more than 50 uploads reveal the same roofline, the same rust-streaked wind chimes swinging soundless in the night. A zoning map hidden deep in public archives shows a foreclosed property with that same crooked geometry, abandoned since 2011. The notes in the margin mention break-ins reported every year, always unexplained, always unresolved. The documents do not say what was taken or who returned. Locals, when they speak at all, do so in low voices. They say a man once lived there, a content producer who left abruptly, leaving behind cameras, drives, and a silence that never settled. His name is hard to find, but in forums that feel older than the web itself, whispers surface. His footage was scattered, sold, stolen. None of his drives were ever recovered. And then you find the thread no one else mentions, drone footage, shaky and grainy, posted to a forgotten Reddit account. It hovers over that same house on a storm-torn night, boards nailed across the windows. But behind the wood, behind the rot and shadows, a single candle burns. It moves from room to room, pausing sometimes as if listening, as if watching back. The date of the footage matches the anniversary of an upload, a story about a missing boy with a voice too much like the one you heard in the first video. You watch and feel your chest tighten, because this no longer feels like coincidence or even myth. Grief thickens the air, guilt pools in your stomach, obsession hums in your skull. These are not stories built to comfort. They are transmissions from somewhere that never stopped recording. Somewhere still alive, still flickering, still waiting for eyes like yours to see it, to follow it home.